Hi! Before you start watching this video, I highly recommend you watch my previous video about the way to the perfect planner, because this video is actually its logical continuation. Such a sequence of watching will help you understand what it is all about. In the comments to the previous video, several times was raised one question: why do I need a planner? Well, what I know for sure, there must be a personal reason or a need for a planner, which you'll definitely feel, if there is one. So choose the system of tracking things that suits you most. If you like decorating the spreads using stickers, tapes, stamps and so on, but it's much more convenient to write all your notes on the phone or Google Calendar, or maybe you don't need at all any planning tools, you can just use your notebook to make creative and beautiful collages inside. It will turn your pastime into a meditative and relaxing process, with the exception that there will be no planning system. In my case, a planner performs three functions. First of all, I need it for planning, of course. As a freelancer, I set my own goals and tasks which I need to complete. So, it is super difficult for me to work without a concrete schedule. Because I'm that kind of person who starts 10 things at a time and none of them will ever be finished. So I must be self-organized and limit myself with deadlines to know exactly how much time I have for this or that task. And speaking about big tasks, I prefer to divide them into smaller ones and fill them into the daily layout. For example, today I make the script for this video, and in the evening I do the editing of that video, tomorrow morning I film another one, and after that I go shopping to buy things for the next one, and so on. Well, this is how it works like. Secondly, this notebook became like my private diary. Because recently I started writing my thoughts there, reflections, oh, I think it's a bit strong word. Well, I also write about my emotions there, cooking recipes, some cool phrases. In a nutshell, this is my diary now. And thirdly, when you customize a notebook, the process itself is like a kind of meditation and art for me. It is so because since I was a kid I really liked stickers, but I was always so sorry to put them on pages, so I just kept them in piles. Or I could just take and immediately and thoughtlessly put them on pages of the album for everyone else to see that I have these cool stickers in my collection. But now I use them to decorate the notebook, which is always in a visible place, so I put my stickers on its pages without feeling sorry. I want to show you how I plan everything out in my planner. Because maybe if I say aloud my needs, what I need from a notebook, and if I show you how eventually I transform what I want on paper, it will help you to plan everything out as well. The only thing is that, with great pleasure, I'd like to share with you my layouts and planning system of dividing information. But I'm not ready to share the information itself with you. That is why, when I will be turning the pages of my previous planner, the text will be blurred, and I hope you'll understand me and why I did so. Alright, let's start with the cover. My previous falafel notebook had a cover which endured the whole academic year, and it wasn't even laminated. This cover is also good if you speak about density, but the only thing is that, as a student, I used my notebook a lot in the first days of September, and I put it in my bag almost every day, and as I love small and cute bags, all my stuff was always squeezed in there, so the print on the planner started rubbing off. And as I used to be a big fan of thick and transparent book covers at school, I decided to try this self-adhesive film, and I used it to protect the cover of the notebook. It was the best way to make sure that the size fitted well. The only thing is that maybe I did it wrong or the quality of the film was questionable. But after a few days it started to peel off the cover. So the notebook looks like this. But still, the cover itself looks pretty, and the colors are as rich as before. And in general, such a little bit shabby texture, the way the notebook looks like, I do like. The funny thing is that after a week I'd protected the cover with the film, I stopped taking the notebook with me because I love small and pretty bags and I'm trying to take only necessary things with me. Such spreads in particular help me to schedule out my big ideas in advance. For instance, in spring I got an idea for autumn, so I write this idea down, otherwise I could forget about it. The September spread you've seen already. This month was really intense, but the layout I'd made and expected to be fully filled in, I almost didn't use at all. After that, I was thinking about turning it into my menu notes, because I think it is quite convenient when you can just sit and plan out all your food for the entire week, think about it once and go and buy all you need instead of suffering every day when you don't know what to cook. So this idea of food planning looks amazing, but eventually I did it only a few times last year, and it wasn't in September. Anyway, the spreads I left in between the months were never needed. October didn't really change, although there were some things I needed to buy for the flat makeover. And here you can see again the spread I didn't use at all. November was also intense and full of events. Writing in these things, well, it's the same as with pretty notebooks. I almost felt sorry for writing in them, or I just simply didn't know what to write about. As I've told you, at some point I started writing down my thoughts there, and I think such, let's say, short memoirs of mine would look good on these stickers. But here goes again. December. Oh, this sticker is from my winter box set, which is still available. All that month I was busy making the winter videos, and also, apart from my channel, I was preparing for the new year, buying furniture and decorating the flat. Because the makeover was done, well, to make it short, it was too challenging to decorate two things at a time. So, to make it short, it was too challenging to decorate two things at a time, so the notebook was waiting for its moment. In one of my old planners, I made a similar spread for all of my winter videos, so I could keep track of what was done and what needed to be done. Because almost all of my video projects I do at the same time. So I always need the overall picture of my plans to know exactly what step and stage is now. Because when you make 10 videos at a time, it is not easy, and you really need some sort of a system. It seems like that year this system worked well, because I didn't even peep in there. Now January is traditionally my time off, at least the first half of it. The rest of the month is usually pretty chill, and I do everything at a calm pace. You might remember I told you that I will post some of my spreads on Instagram, and now I think you understand why I didn't really do it. Because in January there was nothing really to post. Next, of course, there were these blank pages between the months, so I got some space for sketching some of my possible future projects, especially those which were kind of difficult for me to think over, so I had to put my ideas on paper. Sometimes you might think that you understand perfectly good what you want, but when you take a seat and start drawing, you become so overwhelmed by having no clear picture of what you want. I have one more example. When I used to be a student, this happened a lot to me. Now it also happens, but quite seldom. I used to have this little panic when you know that you need to do a lot of things, but you just sit and you're so overwhelmed, but you still do nothing, thinking of how much you need to do. And you know, when you just start writing a list of to-dos, it usually turns out that there are only 4 things to do, which you can even finish before afternoon. Plus, you already have a plan with your 4 steps, which you can start taking one by one. February was full of work, because in March we went on vacation. So I had to prepare everything in advance. And after that, I got carried away by the pearl top, which took a lot of my days and efforts. Still, no notebook cover decorating. Here you can see some more ongoing projects, like this top, and next goes March. First 2 weeks we were on vacation, then we came back and we had to self-isolate ourselves. And that was it. I had to change all my video plans, spring and summer plans, because I wanted to do big projects and go to meetings in spring and summer, but now it seems like I have to wait till the next spring, because winter is not an option for me. All the following months in the planner are blank. As my planner is also my private diary, I can say that I kinda like it, because this is what these months were all about. Although I filmed a lot of videos. I wanted to fill in this blank space, so I decided to print some photos and put them there, but I haven't done it yet. Plus, as I've told you, I started writing my thoughts there. Sometimes here might be found some recipes, which is convenient because they are always right there at hand. But when the planner will end, I don't really want to copy all these recipes and paste them into the new one. But at the same time, I don't want to leave them there. Of course, for this I definitely need a cookbook. But all the cookbooks I had in my life, everything is much worse with them. Since childhood I started a lot of different notebooks and used them as cookbooks, but for some reason at some point I could just stop liking a minor thing, so all the time I had to start a new one. And none of my cookbooks were ever ended properly. But I think the biggest problem of mine, if I speak about cookbooks, the reason why I still don't have a book, is that I don't know how many pages and space I should leave for hot dishes and desserts. Because maybe there will be more desserts than hot meals this time, but usually when you buy a cookbook there is more space to fill in for hot dishes than for desserts. So I have no idea what to do and my mind just goes blank. By the way, the last cookbook I left at my parents' was well structured. On the one side there were starters and main courses, and on the second side there were sweet things like desserts, pastry, sweet things. Why did I forget about it? This is it, I need to start a new cookbook. But it's not a point now. May. Here I have nothing to say, because you understand why there is nothing. It's a spread about my plans, but I'll tell you about it in my next video. June, July and August were finally filled in, which makes me happy. But the decorating here is not the strongest point. When the previous year was over, I finally realized that if I don't set up all the months in a planner at once, there are little chances that I will ever finish setting the rest of them up. So now I want to set the whole year up, so I could wait for every month to come and finally see how I decorated everything. I have the same feeling with wall calendars. You know, when you turn the page when a month is over. When I was a little girl, I always had a favorite picture in a wall calendar, which I was looking forward to seeing. And now it's the same with my planner. I left some space, just in case I'll need some more space for something, because I feel safer this way. And I'm used to doing it since school. As I planned, the previous year occupied exactly the half of the planner, so I decided to start a new year here as well. The only big change which I will make is turning the planner like this. The previous year was set up differently, because I wanted to visually separate the weekdays from the weekends. As I work at home, I need these, let's call them subconscious tricks, so I could maintain my work-life balance. I used to make Saturdays and Sundays my days off, but last year in September, the work schedule of my boyfriend changed. So, as I had a possibility to adapt to this change in schedule, I made our days off coincide with each other. So this previous system of Saturdays and Sundays is not relevant anymore. I used to draw crosses to mark his working days, and now I'll keep doing it, but in this new system arranged on one page. First I drew the layout with my pencil and the size was the same as before, but as there was some space left on the sides, I decided to make the boxes larger, which meant I could use some more space for planning. I used to make the boxes 4x4, but now they are 4x5. Not inches or centimeters, I mean the space between these dots. I didn't leave any space between two neighboring months, because I wanted to use the space under each month. And if I need more space for some reason, there are blank pages at the end of the planner. The titles I did using metallic markers from AliExpress. Their tips are made of felt, and the colors are just what I wanted. The layout, as same as before, I did using fine liners, and I pretty much like how it turned out. I started filming this process in time-lapse, but I quickly realized that it will be too fast for me to comment on everything that happens. So I will start with the October. I made a decision to bring more holidays into my life. Some of them I took from the Wheel of the Year, because, as you know, I do love nature, and these holidays are connected to nature. So the 31st of October will be our autumn celebration, and the same with the rest of the seasons. There is no hidden religious context between the lines. It is just one more reason to meet my family and friends, decorate something, or bake something seasonal. I just want at least to try all this and bring more festive events into the life of my family, just to have an alternative to Defender of the Fatherland Day and the International Women's Day, which we celebrate in Russia. The advantage of the transparent stickers is that you can see through them and therefore choose the best place for them. The bottom part I divided into zones with tapes and stamps, so I could write all my plans and notes in detail. Because last year I realized that when I have a huge blank space in my planner, I sort of don't know what to do with it, and it's scary to fill it in with something. This feeling is almost the same as with a new sketchbook. But when I apply tapes and stamps to such blank spaces, I'm not that scared because there is already something on the page. So I just start writing, and I'm not sure why this works like that. It seems like it's all in my head. In general, this is how I decorate my planner. I start my new year in autumn and end it in summer. I highly enjoy matching the colors and the mood of a month, so the design might look quite trite and obvious. If you look here, you will see that it's possible to divide space using not only tape, but stickers too. Recently I got a present, and there were some molds which I used in my video about the amethyst mirror, and a shimmer pen, which perfectly highlighted the details of the stickers. This highlight doesn't look that catchy as in some stickers, especially those from my childhood with terrible coating, that after a while always peeled off. Also, these highlights are seen at a concrete angle or under the sunshine, which makes the composition look even more magical. Let me show you one more time all the pages and spreads. I'll carefully turn the pages so you see the entire spreads. I hope this video was interesting and useful for you. Many thanks to my sponsors for support. I love you this... My shoulder snapped. I love you this much. Bye.